Hello everyone. Let me take Inner Man. My name is Selva Prakash. I am the author of this book, Inner Man. I want to clarify you about this Inner Man book. Basically, it's about the life. The life, what we live and what we understand and what we should really need to know. There are purposes and principles. Some people are really principled and some have purpose. They want to know why we are here, why we live, what kind of life is this. For both of them, I have answered. Let me take a quick look. The review of this book is very simple, small. This book is all about me and my family of 4 generations. You know, the 4th generation is something is coming from spiritual way of life. Now, what I want to say you in the spiritual way of life, how God does is judgment. For several people who may not know who is God, what is God, this book is not about spiritual. You won't see much of this insisting on spirituality, but you need to know what the justice happens to anyone in families. It's important to know 4 generations because sometimes the judgment is for 4 generations. You may know some people are sick, helpless, sick and for a long time sick, and some lost many things. And some people really go through worst tyrannies. It be financial loss of people, your loved ones. Some in the families, they end up their lives by themselves is suicide. If you do it something which you think is best for you and it is not the will of God, then there is problem. You are just making the problem getting worse. So let us understand what the book says. Let me take quick review on this. Just inside the cover, it was published by Story Mirror. The first page, the 4 generation pictures you can see. Of course, we were great people. The subtitle of the book is Stains of Sin. And the last line you read is make your life better. So how to make our life better? And a foreword by E.V.G. Smita, evangelist. You can see the revelations with these signs. Then you can also self-check where you are and what you do. And scriptures. Most scriptures are from the Bible. The chapter 1 begins with our inner man. See, I was talking about complete truth in this book. And all my family, all original names. First chapter we are talking about is about the inner man. And what is this inner man? We all do one mistake commonly. The one most people do, but they don't even think that that's the mistake. But that is the start of the mistake. The big mistakes is speaking lies. So the first line itself, speak the truth and do good to others as much as you can. Of course, we all have to live happy life. So what is the equation here is word plus life makes the world. So it is important you speak good words and that works well. If you don't speak good words, you can't expect much good. In the real life, you can see these things are started from someone's life. There are 3 goals, how we set the goals, task and planning. So this is what everyone is doing in any business. You have a goal, you have a task, and you have to achieve, and you need to do planning. And this is really good for young people who are just coming out to the industry, how they can do that, how they can choose their choices. And I also put magnet of attraction within this diagram. So some things will really drag you, killing your time, and that will be cause of your failure. So this is again a common subject. As I said, this book is not religious, even though you look at this as something religious. This is all about the truth of your family living. Family lived the life of the worst, and I don't want any one of you to take the worst. That's the purpose here. Desires work on people. Now, one of the common mistake we do is the irrational desire. Which goes in a destructive way. Destructive in terms to use the legal, because if you are legal, you're not going to be caught. But if you are illegal, straight away you're going to get caught. But even though it's legal, there are people, they still use the legal way to bring you into problems. Say example, false complaint. See, once they find false, the complaint is false, then takes time until it is found as false. You're going through the trouble, and you will not like that as the perjury, willful divorce. Some couple, they don't need divorce at all, but they like it for some purpose. But that is willful. It's legal. They want to do it. Sometimes climate is 21st century, there is the modern era, scientific world. But see, it is all one. It is all in the hands of God. If you believe in God. If you don't believe in God, don't worry. There is justice. When people abuse law, misuse of media, social media. So these are legal way. Some non-legal way is very interesting. I could really say that I found it. Non-legal, still you cannot be caught. So legal, again you are escaping. Non-legal, you are escaping. Abandon. You're not going to chase the guy to take care. So that is the non-legal way. Witchcraft is there, it's existing. Cursing, threatening. In a way, threaten, you will get caught, but you need evidence. But people just by looking, they threaten. By staring, they threaten. So you can't make it as a complaint, he's staring at me. Physical attack, no weakness, then attack. So that kind of this thing, and undue sympathy. Some people cry really, hey, I have this problem, that is acting. So that is a kind of non-legal way of desire, getting the goal. They have a goal, destructive way of achieving the goal. That is what the irrational desires. The irrational desire works like the person want to achieve something, they put imagination first, there's a fantasy starts, I want to achieve this. Now, the straight way is not possible. They do illegal way, non-illegal way. So that is the way they put their goals through destructive manner. They are taking advantage of the legal and the non-legal way. Do you practice? It's not going to be good for you, because the judgment is going to be there for 3 to 4 generations. What it means. You have to understand what is the justice means. The God judge people the way not you think or I think or we think, his own way. But that will last for 3 to 4 generations. All these 3 generations will be just torment. And the 4th generation, somebody will die in the family, and that is the justice. Because I'm referring to Bible here. Hey, if someone died, you say, rest in peace, right? What does it mean, rest in peace? These things, again, related to inner man. Inner man is basically not just the human body and mind, just soul. Because we all know there is a body you can physically touch and see. And we know there's a spirit in everyone which drives us on daily basis what to do, what you should not do, how to do. So that's the kind of things. But can you see your own soul? You don't know. So that soul comes from where? Right? So that soul is part of your body and it has life. Your body, one day, whatever day you live, whatever year long you live, one day body will die. But the soul never dies. Even though you are a scientist, I can't argue with you, because scientist is not come by their own. So how the scientists come? If you are scientist and you deny God, that means you are creating a bad world. So I have to warn this. Scientists say this world is several billions years old. And several billion years old, and the man come several million years ago. I think, how is it possible? Several million years before, 50 years before, I did not have electricity in my hometown. Then slowly, now the electricity come, television come, and one by one the home appliances come. And million years before, how is it possible? The Bible says, God created world roughly around 6,000 to 7,000 years before. Because God gives evidence of this from Adam, come one by one. If you read who is father of who in Luke 3, the last part of the chapter, you will know that it ends with Adam was created by God. So now, see the reality. 50 years before, my hometown got electricity. I'm talking about a village. I'm coming from a village. Then, 100 years before, even no towns, no electricity. Put yourself 200 years before, jungle. We were living in jungle. And yes, this city was jungle. And put 300 years before, no electricity at all, even no richness, nothing. Irrespective of your richness, no electricity was not found. 400 years before. So you can't imagine the life when Jesus Christ born, how they lived. They walked through the valleys, they walk through wherever there's a pathway, they walk through and meet people, they were talking about that. So this kind of the reality what we are talking about. And Jesus, before Jesus come, another 2,000 years back, what happened? 1,000 years back, the David king, and he was fighting Goliath, is a giant. He was fighting with a man who is really giant. Do you see giant these days? So science is transforming from one time to another, and it is taking the same life. That time also David was a human. Now also there are human, right? And before going backward, you can see that God is talking to chosen people. This was Moses, and before that Abraham, before that until Adam was created. And from where these million years come for the mankind to taste this life? I don't understand, but that's what the science says. So I don't want to argue that area, but I put 4 generations life here, how anyone does sin and not following God's will is going to suffer a lot. So we have been suffering. I was suffering as the eldest child of my family, lost 2 children, had a lot of problems that you can't even imagine and tell, but you can read and understand. I don't want you to suffer. The way you live, your inner man is the soul, it's going to live the same way. If you love your land and piece of land and money, your soul will be loving there. So do the justice for yourself to live a good life so that your soul can rest in peace. Respect justice. So that is the justice become one of the principle in this book I mentioned in the last chapter. And truth, the first thing you need to apply. And the peace, the final thing you have to deliver. Giving my family as example, if you read in the following chapters, when I said moral passion for the inner man, I put some 40 items in this book, and it's good for you and your family to sign this in page number 41. Try to understand the list of things, all the 40 things, then sign the sheet and keep it with you, so that no one will ever do suicide, kill himself or themselves or murder or anything, and live accordance to the Lord's will. And that is going to help their families. Eventually it will help their families. I put a flow chart to understand who you are and from where you come and how much sins you carry in your life. If you carry sins in your life, it's not your own, it's coming from your father, mother, and grandfather, grandmother. It comes down from the top down, and if you carry any of that, and don't expect that you will get everything rewardable. So you need to clean that. So stains removal, one of the thing I put at the last chapter. So the way you can release your forefathers' sin upon you. So that's one way, is a solution. Yeah, you can't expect everything good from everybody, but at least you can take care of your own self. Is the sin removal. Okay, inner man training elements. You need certain things to do for people, certain things, obligations on the planet. Then the economy is the fundamental to do everything better. Your economy should be good to drive all things of your imaginations or all that you wanted. Your economy should be slowly going upwards to be successful. Also chart I put here for, if you like, it's a checklist for individuals, families, organizations and leadership. In terms to the focus areas, there are focus areas, 27 focus areas which you can see in the principle-based and purpose-based table. And these 27 focus areas, as individual, as families, as organization and leadership, if you have all that in the do's list, you are really being the topper. If there is something like that which you should not do, I put that in the don'ts, under the don'ts. So there are do's and don'ts. Okay, finally, I just don't leave you thinking yourself, or you may have questions, you can write to me. My email address is given in this, so you can write back to me, and I will certainly help you if you are really a well-wisher to do your own self and others, and I will be with you. I will really help you, guide you, and do the best for your own and all of your people, nation, whoever you want. For your own, thank you. God bless you.